The World Youth Championships is now coming to its end. We have only two more rounds left. In the ninth round, we had young Ilamparthi winning his game in the under 14 section, which means he's now one of the sole leaders. No, he's a joint leader, but he's one of the leaders of the tournament with 7.5 out of 9. Let's quickly have a look at his game, and then we will also look at another game by another young Indian in the under 16 section. So Ilamparthi was playing with black. He's playing against Ansat Aldiar. The young boy had started with 5 out of 5, then 5.5 out of 6. He lost the 7th round, but has made a strong comeback with wins in 8th and 9th round. So he's now on 7.5. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. And staying true to his style, Ilamparthi doesn't go for the main line with knight f6, but plays bishop c5. This is not played often, and after c3, he goes knight g7. Very interesting setup, and something that you can look at. Maybe he worked it out before the game. Maybe Shyam Sundar, who is his trainer there and also the coach of the team, suggested him to play this. Castles, knight g6, d4. And here's an important point. You don't take it. You just drop your bishop back. He took on e5. Perhaps bishop g5, provoking f6 and bishop e3 was a better way for white to play. But he played d takes e5. Ilamparthi took knight c, e5, knight d4, and now a very good move, castles. Knight d4 was not the best move here by white, but white's plan was to go f4 here. Now it's your main question in this game. What do you play here as black to play? Try to think. One way to play in such positions is to just go d6. It's a very weird move, but the idea is if you take, I take back, and there is this pin. So it's one way possible, but the best move here, and Ilamparthi found it in just 3 minutes, is c5. Excellent move if you found it. Hitting the knight has to, if it moves, let's imagine the knight goes to c2, just as an example, or maybe knight f5, better square, c4 check, king h1 or knight d4, and you can put your knight on d3, and this is looking good for black. So f takes e5, cd, and once again, what is the move that you want to play here? See, if you take knight takes e5, yes, you win back a pawn, but not the most important pawn, because then white still has these nice pawns. You can go king h1. The right move here is queen b6. Well done if you found it, attacking the d4 pawn. Also, if you defend it with bishop e3, I will take the pawn on b2. So that's the reason why king h1 played. Queen takes d4, knight c3, knight takes e5. And this is how the position became better for Ilamparthi. He's pawn up, take, bishop b3, knight to d3, h3, d6, bishop g5, threatening bishop e7, but Ilamparthi has seen it. He goes bishop e6, rook e8, take on d6, take on b3, and now this check, king h2 and knight e4. And with this, black is clear pawn up. If you see, he has 5 pawns, white has 2, and also these pawns are weak on b2 and b3. So Ilamparthi just managed to win this game quite comfortably in this end game. As you can see, he didn't have to stretch a lot. Third pawn falls, and then the bishops were traded. And I liked how Ilamparthi converted this rook endgame. Generally, G and H pawns are slightly tricky. We have seen in the past some games have ended in draws, but he was very confident. He first went here, pushed the pawn H3. This is a standard technique. And now it's very important not to do that standard technique here because it leads to stalemate. So first G4, then a very nice move rook A4, so that after G3 you are not hassled with checks. Rook C1, G3, and now rook F4, good move. H2, good move. And he resigned because the next plan is king H3 and G2 mate. Somehow there's no stalemate. So this was a nice win for Ilamparthi. With this, he moved to 7.5 out of 9. Let's go to another player who's doing really well at the um, World Youth, and he is Pranav Anand. Pranav Anand is an IM and he's very close to becoming a GM now. And let's have a look at his game. Pranav is also on 7.5 out of 9. He is also a joint leader in the tournament. He was playing against Timothy Raza Finratsima, and Pranav got quite a difficult position out of the opening with white. It's the Queen's Gambit accepted, knight a2, knight f6, e5, knight d5, bishop c4. So it's around equal, this opening. Bishop g5, queen b6, castles, h6, and now he had to play bishop e3 so that there is control over the c5 square. But instead he went bishop d2, and now black just took over. Bishop a6, knight d7, bishop e7, knight b3. This was a nice maneuver by Pranav to get his queen knight to b3 to control c5, but black has a lot of firepower on c5 now and finally gets the c5 break. By now black is doing very well. Take, and all sorts of ideas on the f2 square. So king f1 was played, rook c7. Maybe a very powerful move was bishop b7, and black is just doing fantastic in this position, and Pranav would have had big troubles here. But rook c7, rook d1, takes, queen a6, and this was not a good move. Maybe rook a c8 is something that he could have played, but I think here there is bishop takes h6, and if you take g h6, you have rook g4 check, and if king h8, then just queen takes a6 is hanging. So because of this reason, rook c8 is bad. Maybe queen a7 could have been better, and black is doing fine. But once he went rook b6, now Pranav is actually better in this position slightly, and look at how he plays. First h4, gaining space, then g3, taking away the f4 square from the knight, then bishop e3, bishop d4, knight to g5, provoking f6, comes back, creating weaknesses, and then takes here, rook c5, very good move, king c4, rook g8, knight d2, threatening knight e4, bishop b6. Maybe a better move here was rook g4, stopping knight e4 plans, but he played bishop b6, and now came check, rook b5. The bishops were traded, rook came in, but a5 fell, and now everything falls. Check. You can't go king e7 because of rook a7. So he went king e8, takes on e6, takes on h5, and before you know it, white is already a very healthy pawn up. And the ease with which Pranav converts this is very cool. 2 pawns up, and he went on to win this end game very smoothly. Just and white wins. So Pranav Anand is now leading with 7.5 on 9. Let's have a look at some of the standings of the tournament so you have an idea of who's leading in which section. So let's go to under 14 open. So in the under 14 section open, we have Ilamparthi, who is at the top with 7.5, and he is playing against Jakub Seaman. He is in joint lead with Jakub Seaman. Both of them have played each other and drawn. So it seems like Ilamparthi has very good chances of winning. His tiebreak is good. Everything looks great. If he does well in the last 2 rounds, he can become the world under 14 champion. We also have John Venny Akarakaram, who is on number 17 spot and has decent chances, and 33rd spot goes to Gaurang Bagwe right now. Then in under 16 boys, we have Pranav Anand, who is in lead with Emin Ohanian. And by the way, Both of them are going to play each other today. So it's going to be an important game. We also have Pranesh on number 5 position, who is fighting for the medals, and Harshad, who is on 21st position. After that, we have Soham Kamotra, number 22 in under 18 open, and we have 3 girls who are in chance with a medal in the under 14 girls. We have Amulya Guru Prasad, who won her game yesterday, Mritika Malik on 6.5, Pragnya HG at 6.5 as well. Anupam Shri Kumar is on 6. In the under 16 girls, we have only Tanisha Boramanikar. She's on number 30th position. And in under 18 girls, good chances of medals for Kanishka S, who is on 6.5 points. But look at Mariam Makarchian on 9 out of 9 under 18 girls. I think she's already won it with 2 rounds to spare. Rindhya is on 6 points. Rakshita Ravi 5.5. Bhagyashri Patil on 5. So that's how the standings are. 2 more rounds to go in Romania for the World Youth. I'll be bringing you all the coverage. Let's hope that Indians are able to win a lot of medals. For now, this is Sagar Shah signing off. Bye bye.